2021 is a few months old, and some hair trends for the year are emerging, with salons having to shut down and reopen and shut down again. The hair game is on a whole other independent level. So Jason is here to talk about what to expect this year and how we can get the look to be on trend. Hey, Jay.
Hey, Tracy. Listen, I gotta say, those first few hair trends that we see within those first few years of any new decade are pretty good indicators of how that era is going to go and how we're going to look back at it and remember those hair trends. And already we're well on our way into 2021, and what we're seeing is that haircuts are becoming much more, they're getting a much more needed update, and hair color is becoming really stand out. And I will say, there is this real polarization when it comes to hair trends in terms of, you know, it's a real backlash from the pandemic and kind of undone hair. So we're either seeing this real rebellion and like really interesting new ways of looking at hair, or else it's a continuation on of that kind of low-key vibe. So let's first talk about haircuts. You know, people have been wearing their hair long with long layers and waves for a very long time now. And now we're seeing a real return to shorter layers. Now, we've talked about the mullet. It really is gaining momentum. And so we've seen it on Rihanna, we've seen it on Miley Cyrus. I will say, though, that, you know, we saw this happening at the beginning of the 80s, which is a little scary because we all saw how that turned out. And it's a real thing where, like, layers are coming back, which we haven't seen for quite a while. Now, if a mullet is a little bit too much for you, let's take a look at Zendaya, who I love also, because here she has this really nice shagged out haircut with some fringe, and it's all about kind of, you know, working with your cheekbones and really adding more interest into the haircut. But I do believe that we are going to see a huge kind of, the pendulum's going to swing back, and we're going to see a lot of glamour kind of coming back. And don't you find that we're all just so hungry for a little bit more glamour in our lives, Tracy?
Absolutely. I am so ready for some glam. I want to go to a big fancy affair, although I really like my sweatpants too. I'm both.
I agree. I mean, glamour, drama, I love it, but if it's comfortable, would be the best. So nothing is more glamorous than a bob. And here's Maya Rudolph, who I love this look on her because it's just such a razor-sharp edged bob. She looks super glamorous. I do think that we're going to see a lot more bobs. We've talked a lot about bobs in the past, but I really think what we're going to experience is that people are going to really want something fresh and new again, and just getting a whole new vibe.
Okay, so let's talk hair color and what we were expecting to see for 2021.
Totally. So one color that we haven't seen for a long time, it hasn't really had its moment for a while, and it is having its moment now, is red. Whether it's auburn, cinnamon, copper, bright red, we're seeing it kind of all throughout. We're seeing it in all different generations. Keke Palmer, I love her. She's just so great at like expressing herself with her hair color. This is such a beautiful, soft red tone that goes so well with her skin tones. And then we have people like Kylie Jenner going red. And here's Lourdes Leon, who's Madonna's eldest daughter. And she's done this really cool kind of color blocking look with a vibrant red in the front, working with her natural color all throughout. And you know, it's super 2021. The real one that everybody's talking about right now are called underlights. You know, a big TikTok star, Charli D'Amelio, has done it where you can see like these kind of peekaboo underlight tones underneath, and it's so good for like 20-year-olds. But I mean, it's good for anybody at any age, but it's really the thing that we're looking at right now.
To be 20 again. Yes, the underlights. And I know exactly who you're talking about that because my daughter's definitely a fan. Last but not least, you've got something to say about the blondes.
Listen, nobody's had it harder this year than the blondes because when the salons were all closed, people couldn't get in to get their roots done. Right. I will say again, a continuation on of that kind of undone look. Root shadow is really big. It's great because it works as it gives a little dimension to your skin tone. One person that we're looking at is Emily Lynn. She's from the Gossip Girl reboot. Inside Scoop, a friend of mine in New York City does her color, Nikki Ferreira, and she told me that she just works with her natural color, does kind of chunky, bold highlights throughout and around her hairline and highlights all throughout. So that's your inside scoop, and that's what we're seeing for blondes this year.
Loving it. Listen, we've got the roots. You might as well stick with it and go with it. And I love that this is sort of the pandemic hair mentality we have. Thank you, Jay.